As far back as I can remember, the idea of working for somebody else genuinely would rather not be here. I had to build something for myself. My first product was a money gun. I lost like $5,000 on that first product because Amazon said I couldn't sell it. And it was just a very rookie mistake. It was like my third product where I hit my first 10K. From there on out, I kind of figured out what I needed to do and what to avoid. Once you are up and running on Amazon, there's not a whole lot to monitor. This does not require more than like an hour.
So first off, Michael, I want to thank you for coming on Real Leverage today. For those of you who don't know Michael has done 5 million in sales on Amazon, as well as runs a coaching business and has built a presence on social media. So without further ado, Michael, the first question I want to ask you is, how did you get started in entrepreneurship? Were you always born this way, or was there a certain influence or person that pushed you towards being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think I didn't realize this in the beginning, but I think subconsciously my dad was probably a pretty big reason why I got into business. So he's kind of always been involved in business in the traditional sense. He's not started his own business, but has been a part of many businesses that have done well. And I think that stuck with me from a young age. Again, I don't think I realized it until later on, just because he was still like working and I was like, I don't want to do that. But nonetheless, I have to admit, he created a great life for, my family and my, people around us and everything. And so I think I was inspired by that at a young age. But yeah, I think for me, it was just like from as far back as I can remember, the idea of working for somebody else my entire life, like I genuinely would rather not be here. So like I had to build something for myself. I didn't know what it was going to be at the time, but that was really, it was like I needed to build something for myself. The thought of working for someone else drove me insane. Yeah.
Me and Colton both definitely kind of relate to that as well. Like, obviously, we have jobs right now, and we work for the coolest company ever. Seriously, like, as far as jobs goes, it's really like we feel like entrepreneurs in the business. Uh,
Nice.
and that business kind of supports Colton as well, pursuing these other things like doing the podcast and like we're investors as well and stuff like that. So definitely relate to you in that regard. Eventually, long term, yeah, we want to kind of build our own businesses and work for ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to dive a little bit into your business? Obviously, you've done Amazon FBA. Want to dive into a little bit about how that's kind of developed? Like, how did you originally get into doing that, and how
Yeah.
that progressed over time? Because I haven't done it, but like drop shipping, I know it's different. And people probably basket it together a lot, but like for me, drop shipping was one of the first businesses that I learned about back in high school. So I'm super curious to see how that's kind of happened for you getting into Amazon.
Yeah. So I like just to rewind a little bit further, I was actually really big into music production for like years.
Hmm.
And when I was in high school, that's what I was doing. And when I graduated, that's what I wanted to do. So I ended up having a scholarship to a music production school here in Vancouver. And after I'd gone there for like 2 months, I dropped out. I'm not sure why to this day. I think it was maybe something so creative, having like a structure around it seemed weird to me and it just turned me off. And so I completely dropped out, stopped doing music production, searched up how to make money online because I still wanted to do, something for myself. And yeah, I came across drop shipping, digital marketing, Amazon FBA, all these different business models. And then I just found Amazon FBA to be the most long-term model in my opinion.
Hmm.
And so that's what I decided to try. And my first product was a money gun. And I lost like $5,000 on that first product because Amazon said I couldn't sell it because of the fake cash that was included in the product.
Oh,
Uh, and it was just a very rookie mistake. Like I could have easily found this out ahead of buying inventory, but I didn't know.
yeah,
So that was my first product. And then second one, I tried about 6 months later with a buddy of mine, these collapsible metal straws, which they ended up doing pretty well. They sold out in the first couple of months, but margins were too slim, probably lost another 1,000 or 2,000 on that product. And
interesting.
so it wasn't about a year and a half into my journey where I made any money, but it was like my third product where I hit my first 10K. And from there on out, I kind of figured out what I needed to do and what to avoid because of my past failures.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's how I got into Amazon FBA. It wasn't like I loved the idea of selling products on Amazon. It's just like I
Yeah.
wanted to make money somehow, and that's what I happened to get into.
No, that's interesting for sure. Yeah, for our audience who doesn't know, and then you can elaborate on this. The key difference between drop shipping and Amazon FBA is with Amazon you actually have to buy the product, right, and ship it to the Amazon facilities, as opposed to drop shipping where you're buying from somebody and shipping direct to the consumer, and you're kind of the middleman. You don't handle the product. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference is just Amazon FBA, like you said, you're buying inventory up front, whereas drop shipping, the whole point is you're not buying inventory until after someone purchases it, so there's no like inventory risk. But the big difference is also Amazon FBA, of course, you're selling on the largest e-com platform in the world versus drop shipping. You can technically do drop shipping on Amazon, but they don't like drop shippers. They'll shut you down typically.
Hmm.
So most of the time, you're building out your own website. So you got to get good at learning how to market your product so you can drive traffic. So yeah, those are kind of the main differences.
Hmm.
And so you mentioned that it was really your third product, correct, that got you to 10K.
Yeah,
Between
third
those
product.
first two, what was the lessons you learned? You said with the first one, the money gun, you didn't do any research and you just bought the inventory. But what were the key lessons that really drove you to that third product making 10K a month?
Yeah, it was so the first two, the like lessons I learned were one, the data looked good for the money gun. It was just this is like a nuanced little detail. It's not like super broad, but I basically bought inventory before listing my product on Amazon. And you always just want to list your product first. It doesn't go live until Amazon actually receives your inventory.
Hmm.
So you always list it first, and then I would have known. Amazon would have said you can't sell this, or this is restricted, or you need approval, something like that. So that was my first mistake. I didn't list my product until I bought inventory, and then I found out, oh damn, there's something wrong with this. I can't sell it. So that was the first lesson, and that's just like really understanding Amazon as a platform because they're strict. There's a lot of things you can and can't do. And then the second thing was just not paying attention to my numbers enough. Sold out pretty quickly, but margins were slim. I think I was like ignorant to the fact that when we first started looking at the product, it looked pretty decent. And then I think I probably saw closer to launch, it's like, oh, the overall price is dropping quite a bit. Our net profit's actually pretty slim. But I was just like maybe in denial of that. And I was like, I just wanted to, go out and sell this product. So I did, and it was kind
Yeah.
of a dumb mistake. So that was the second one, just like really not being on top of, my margins as much as I should have been. And then the third product, just from those two little kind of mistakes that I made with the first couple of products, I understood kind of what to do and what not to do. And from a decision standpoint on the data of the product, besides, making sure my margins were there, from the money gun in terms of what I was looking at in terms of like revenue, competition, all that, it was still very similar of what I made my decision on the third product, which was a smell-proof bag for marijuana. And yeah, the data looked good on that one. Margins were a bit better, and yeah, so that one worked.
It's so interesting. I'm kind of curious, like they're all such different products that you're selling. And I have a few questions. Obviously, there's so much to dive into with Amazon FBA. And it's so interesting to me because I've spent some time learning about it, dropshipping and everything like that. Like, do you have like a process, I guess, of learning what product would work well? Uh, Obviously, you look into numbers and stuff like that, like cost to purchase it and all that as well. So I'm kind of curious, like, what does that look like for you? And also, how do you know that like selling a money gun would maybe work or not work, or like buying a bag that you can't smell weed through? That's
Yeah.
different things. Like, do you just creatively think about these things? Is there like a market research process that you kind of go through to learn?
Yeah. So I mean, when I first started, I used a tool called Jungle Scout, and there's a lot of different tools out there that essentially tap into Amazon's API, so we can actually like see the data of a given product. So I can see how much money a money gun's making, or a smell proof bag. Any product on Amazon, you can kind of see how much money they're making. And so
Mm.
I now use a tool called Zonbase. I went from like Jungle Scout to Helium 10 to now Zonbase, and they're all very similar in terms of what they do. Again, they just basically show you the data for a product. So yeah, they're all very random for that reason of always making data driven decisions, never emotional based decisions.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, I'd kind of learned just online from other people what to look for in a product in terms of the kind of criteria. How much money should it be making? What is the search volume? not trendy, just sells consistently year over year, all these different things. And so I just kind of plug those into these tools, and I'll feed back these products that match that criteria. And then it really comes down to, all right, well, now we've found a product that looks good in terms of data, but what are we going to do to differentiate it? And differentiation at the time wasn't as important as it is now, but always still did something like for the smell-proof bag, added some bonus items to provide more value to the main product and provide more value just to the consumer. But that's really the process, is using these tools so we can make data-driven decisions, and then differentiating it. And back then it was looking at negative reviews to kind of improve. Now it's look at negative reviews, go on ChatGPT, give me X amount of ways to improve design or function, make mock-ups of it. Like, it's insane the capabilities now with AI to help on the differentiation side of things,
Right.
From just a product branding standpoint, really everything. And so the process has changed a little bit because of that, and it's just made it a lot easier, really.
Yeah, that's interesting. Go ahead, Colton. I know we got
No,
lots to say.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's quite interesting because even you referring to that you make logical based decisions on the data. Tyler and I can relate to that. We're more investors right now, but we try to take emotion completely out of it.
Yeah.
So just something that was really interesting. And now, have you been integrating AI since it came out, since ChatGPT came out, or was this something you just slowly realized, oh, I should actually put this into work, or did you see someone else doing it on YouTube? Like,
Yeah, I don't really. But when did it come out? Like,
That's a good question.
I don't
Everybody
know.
has a
it
different.
feels like,
I bet the real answer is like years
It's
ago.
probably
People
it's probably a while ago, honestly.
I started
but
using ChatGPT in 2022 originally, so it's been a few
really,
years now. A lot
okay,
longer
damn,
than
yeah.
people, but
I actually don't know. I feel like I've been using it for probably a couple years now, maybe a bit more. And so I think it's probably when I heard of it, I started to just play around with it. And then for Amazon specifically, I've really started to integrate it more in the past year, just because of the capabilities it has, and not just GPT, but just with image generation too, is super useful from the differentiation standpoint. Because we used to have to go and like hire someone on, say, Upwork or Fiverr, which I'm sure you guys know what those are, but for those who don't, just like freelancing platforms where you can hire people for certain things. And so I would hire designers to make 3D mock-ups of the product if it like didn't really exist, or we had to change something, and that might cost a few $100 or $1,000 in revisions and take a week or 2 weeks. And now, GPT, okay, make a mock-up of this for me, and does it in less than a minute.
yeah,
Revisions, fine. So it's just like so much cheaper, so much faster.
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. 100% agree. Like, me and Colton use AI all day, every day. I mean, even making images for our short form content now, it's like just get ChatGPT to make up a cartoon version of me, like
Yeah.
full of money, right? And it just fits well in the short form. I think like learning how to use AI is so important. I mean, even our conversation earlier, Colton
Sure.
talked about AI a lot. This is kind of separate, and you probably maybe do use AI for this. Kind of wondering, like, what have you learned about marketing, or is it that important with Amazon? Like, obviously, if you're doing drop shipping or something, you're going to be probably running Facebook ads and stuff like that. Do you run ads for Amazon, or does the platform kind of naturally promote your product?
Yeah, so we mainly focus on PPC, which is Amazon's internal advertising system, pay per click.
Okay.
I mean, similar to Google, but probably a bit more simple. So yes, marketing, but at a much lower level, at least in the beginning, in terms of the complexity of it. So typically launch, get some reviews, turn on PPC, which, I mean, simply put, you're just spending money on keywords that are related to your product to be shown as a
Right.
sponsored listing on the first page. And there's different variants of it. So that's the main piece of marketing, at least in the beginning. But at the end of the day, even though we're like selling on Amazon, we are really just building a brand. We're just leveraging Amazon in the beginning because it's such a massive platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, eventually working with content creators, or potentially running some Facebook ads. I don't really do much of it right now. I would say our main piece of marketing when it comes to marketing externally to Amazon would be working with content creators and UGC influencers, etc., as opposed to paid media externally. So yeah, it's still important, but more so the focus in the beginning is definitely more PPC internal to Amazon. If someone has a budget to do external marketing with influencers and stuff like that too, great. Or, I mean, TikTok Shop, even better. So I've integrated that a little bit in the past year or so as well. It's a little harder because in Canada it doesn't exist, so finding ways around it. But
Interesting.
yeah,
I've heard people talk on TikTok, and I don't even know much about TikTok Shop, but I've heard tons of people talk about that being like kind of like a new thing and a new wave of like advertising and stuff. And even like Gary Vee talking about the live shopping and stuff like that and related to TikTok Shop. Apparently it's a pretty big thing. So you guys are trying to integrate it a bit.
yeah. I mean, the live shopping, no, but the like TikTok Shop, yeah, we've integrated that over the past year or so. Maybe not that long, but it's yeah. The nice thing with TikTok Shop is it can work really well just because you have the opportunity to go pretty viral fast if you get a creator that happens to create a viral video, and then that can just have a huge boost in your sales.
Interesting.
Whereas, a lot of other things, and Amazon too, it's typically a bit more gradual. You're getting more reviews, and as a result, your conversion's increasing because of that. Whereas TikTok Shop, again, if you get one video that goes viral, then you're just gonna have some amazing sales for the next few days or few weeks, and just a lot more brand presence overall. The nice thing with TikTok Shop, I would say also is, it's well, depending on creators you work with, it's typically just commission based.
Okay.
But the nice thing is, and you guys know this if you're kind of like in the content game a bit as well, you don't need to work with influencers who have hundreds of thousands of followers to, produce viral content. They can have a few thousand followers, and not only will they be, cheaper in terms of their commission, but oftentimes a bit more motivated to make something work as well.
Yeah.
And so that's a really nice thing. It's just like, you don't have to spend money up front. It's commission based, and depending on your budget, you can give away as many samples to these creators, really, as much as you want, depending on how much inventory and stuff like that. So that's more the TikTok Shop game, which, yeah, I think is a great way to boost initial sales, and just for long term also. It's just, if you're in Canada like myself, like I had to get someone in the US to basically give me access to their account and like link my product from Amazon to TikTok. And so I don't even really log in that much. I don't really see much. Like, I have someone who's in the US who kind of somewhat runs it.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's something that's great to take advantage of.
Very interesting. Now, obviously, you've kind of mastered the Amazon game, right? Doing over $5 million in sales. I noticed you also have a coaching business. What was the switch to decide that made you decide you wanted to start coaching and helping other people create these Amazon FBA products and so on?
So started that, I mean, probably 3-4 years ago, but made it more of like a bit more of like a structured program about 3 years ago. The main reason was, I mean, 3 reasons really. One, it's another stream of income for us to work with people. The second reason is it does give us the opportunity to invest into brands that we help build up. Not often do we do it, but we have like invested into some of our students' products, and so that's a cool opportunity. And then the third reason too is just like myself, and we have like a few mentors on our team that all do between like 3 to 10 plus million for their own Amazon business, who mentor our students as well. It's just time. Like, I spend less than an hour a day on my Amazon business, and helping other people is probably like the most fulfilling thing to do, in terms of just, starting in a similar situation to us when we started and trying to grow something to get to their ideal situation. So that's it. The other reason. So yeah, those are the main things.
So yeah, you're saying you only spend like an hour a day on your Amazon business now. Is that because you're more focused on coaching? You said that's more fulfilling. That's more where you want to spend your time, or is it just simply once you have a product listed that does well, you just have to order the product to Amazon, and it's fairly automated that way?
Yeah. It's mainly just because once you are up and running on Amazon, there's not a whole lot to monitor. Once you're live, you're really just monitoring your inventory and your advertising, and so it just does not require more than like an hour-ish a day. I have a PPC manager now as well, so on the advertising side of things, I don't really spend much time on that anyway. So it's really just like reviewing. Yeah, I mean, it's just like looking over inventory and stuff like that. So like, even for me now, like, I have a few VAs who look over these little things, and so that's why I spend less than an hour a day. But even in the beginning, when it was just myself and for new people who are starting, you still probably won't spend more than like an hour-ish per day
Interesting.
on the Amazon business. Unless you're doing, say you're doing like content yourself and stuff like that. Maybe you make some videos every day, but still not a ton of time. And so, yeah, naturally I was just like, well, why not teach other people as well? If I'm going to start something else, then might as well be something that I'm aligned with. And so I spend way more time on the coaching side of things just because, yeah, service-based businesses just take a lot more time.
You keep mentioning this team. When did you start hiring other people? When you started to scale up, and how big is your team now? Obviously, they're kind of
Yeah,
helping you out so you can do the coaching business and content creation. So,
yeah,
talk a little bit about that.
for sure. Yeah, so on the Amazon side of things specifically, I guess I think I probably brought on like my first VA with the third product when I was like the smell proof bag, which probably wasn't necessary for me to do, but I did. I brought someone on just overseas, and they were helping me with just like little things, dealing with like seller support and stuff like that, because seller support is a pain to deal with. Uh, and so I've been working with like that VA specifically for like 3 years now, and then brought on a PPC manager probably in like year 2 of like actually being successful on Amazon, not like the first 2 failed years. And that's actually pretty, I mean, for my Amazon side of things, that's pretty much my team. Is I have like Uneza, who's our VA, just like in general, help with things on Amazon, seller support, stuff like that. And then Malik, who's been my PPC manager for a couple of years, even a little more than that now. And that's pretty much it on the Amazon side of things. For doing things like photos and packaging and stuff like that, we have like contacts that we've worked with, and like say freight forwarders and stuff like that. Like we have contacts that we've worked with, but they're not on our team specifically, but they're people we
Right.
continue to work with. So that's the Amazon side of things. Very small team. On the coaching side of things now, I think we have about 10 people. So yeah, 4 other mentors on our team that actually like teach the students as well, and yeah, I've someone who's doing social media management as well, and then just back end teams, sales, stuff like that.
Interesting. I think that's something our beautiful takeaway is like the not necessarily the low barrier entry into Amazon FBA, because obviously you need money to buy products, but just the time commitment. That's interesting to hear how little time commitment I guess you need to succeed with it. Obviously, you have a product. There's a lot that goes into it. And probably what you're not talking about is the countless hours it took to research products and learn actually how to operate the business and stuff. But once you kind of get to that level, it is fairly low time frame. So that's interesting to hear. Interesting to hear about your coaching business as well. How much more people you have involved. So is that kind of more your focus moving forward now? Then obviously you have a bigger team. Maybe that's the nature of the businesses. Or to coaching business kind of more the forefront of your business moving forward down the line.
Yeah, the I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You're asking if the coaching business is more the priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the coaching business. Yes, I would say it's slightly more the priority now, but again, it's also just because it takes more time. It's not
Okay.
like I don't prioritize Amazon. It's just I just don't need to prioritize it as much because it takes less time. I started a new brand about 5 months ago, maybe, and that was like my first new brand in quite a bit of time, and so I was still like focusing on that quite a bit. I actually just went through some unfortunate stuff with that brand of like I'm pretty confident like we got sabotaged because it was like the one brand that I was like public about, and I was trying to be transparent and stuff, and
Oh yeah.
I'll just kind of talk about it, but like basically Amazon about a month ago wiped every single one of our positive reviews, and I mean no warning, no flag inside of our account, no suspicion there, just like they wouldn't even really say why. And so that like destroyed the momentum of our new brand and product, and so like working on building those back up, and then not too long ago they suspended our brand's Instagram account as well, which also for literally no reason. They said, we
Weird.
don't support fake accounts. I was like, there's this, what do you mean it's not fake? I post on every day, it's me. So like two very odd things that happened, which have never happened to me before. And that was like the first brand that I was like actually public about. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure like someone sabotaged us, which is very unfortunate. But that was a big priority of mine and still kind of is. But honestly, because of those two things that just happened, like I'll probably see if we can like build up the momentum again up until the end of Q4. And if that doesn't pick up, then I'll probably honestly like sell it off because of those two things that happened. So yeah, Amazon's still a big priority. Still selling like that new brand I started, but yeah, the coaching just takes more time, and so I guess I prioritize that a bit more now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess to piggyback off of both of these, maybe we talk about it through social media a little bit. Obviously, me and Colton have both seen you on our For You pages and stuff. That's how it came across you. What is your plan with social media? How are you using that to leverage your businesses, your coaching business? I would assume that would be pretty productive for that reason. Is that fair to assume?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The I've like really pivoted in the past, not even probably pivoted in the past like 4 months on my social media in terms of how much content I'm putting out and the style of content. I really, I really didn't want to become, a typical kind of guru who's pushing content all the time. And a year ago, I was pushing a lot more content just on TikTok and kind of kept my Instagram somewhat just like personal or like lifestyle. I didn't post a ton about like Amazon and stuff like that specifically, where now it's like this is like it's completely dominates my profile. And so yeah, I leverage it mainly for the coaching side of things for sure. I was using it a little bit to show like my journey with the new brand and stuff, but I mean like the whole reason people don't share their products is because of what just happened to me. And so like I'm not going to be transparent about my brands really for future stuff like I hadn't been before. And so just, mainly on the coaching side of things. I think the goal is, just continue pushing that, just like giving free value on Amazon and stuff like that. And I honestly was like very recently just thinking of, I'm probably going to create another Instagram account just to go back to having something that's just personal and whatever. But it's something just like real to talk about right now is I'm at a point where I like am not really loving content anymore. And like, I actually would really love to get to a point in the near future where I just like stop doing it for a while. But then it's like also it'll be a matter of me figuring out what I want to do with the coaching and stuff like that, because I just don't love how it's turned into so much content pushing all of the time, and I never really wanted to do that. But it's great, it's something that is kind of a reality if you want to grow your business in an organic way. So obviously it works and it helps a lot, but it's been interesting. It's something I've been genuinely like struggling with over the past few weeks, because it's something I like never really cared about before. When like I'm pushing so much, it's like how much do I want to keep doing this? Like how much do I want to grow? And I'd love to just like delete everything, at some point and just go back to just normal life with just, not posting about giving tips and that, like stuff like that all the time.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
with that being said, do you feel a lot of your coaching business comes through social media, or not a lot where you're able to delete it and kind of start
Yeah,
fresh?
I mean, like, I couldn't really, if I want to keep growing the coaching business, I can't really stop with social media. It's like, I mean, everything pretty much comes through that. Yeah.
Is the reason, like, do you just not enjoy producing the content, or is it what it's developed into? It's not, do you feel like it's too promotional now or something for the business? Like, are you just generally just don't enjoy doing content and you kind of rather not do it, but obviously it's so productive for your business?
Yeah, I think it's just talking about Amazon FBA for like 4 or 5 years now. I'm kind of over it. That's honestly really it. And like me saying this right now is maybe not the best thing. I'm not gonna like give up on the coaching. I'm still gonna push it hard, and like we have a great team and everything. But I think it's really that. It's just like talking about FBA for so long. I'm motivated to do something else now and build something else which doesn't require me like pushing so much on social media. And I'm in the process of building something new as well, but I'm still doing the coaching. But I think that's really it. Just like doing it every day for so long. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it would be, do you think it would still work as well as like a funnel for your coaching business if you like outsourced your channel? Or do you think it's like your face, what does so well, people like you want to go coach from you, as opposed to like, I don't know how you would go about creating like more like business content, like your business of coaching, as opposed to just Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be an interesting transition, like somehow to do that. I think it's just, yeah, the big thing with like the coaching programs is obviously it's so tied to your face. And so I think it could potentially work. It would just be like a long transition period of like your face not being, or your, you know, the brand not being tied just to your face. But I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see. It's like, just been something that I've been thinking about recently, just because I've pushed so much more. Like I've never done this much content and stuff. But the nice thing is, it's actually it's interesting because like if you guys look at my Instagram now, it's actually not a ton of me talking about Amazon FBA. It's a lot of carousel style posts, which I'm not even in it, or maybe lifestyle, real style things and stuff like that. So my face is still attached, but it's not me just doing talking head style reels every single day on Instagram, whereas TikTok I still do that. But I think honestly, like from like a broader aspect of like why I've been thinking about this lately is just like info products and coaching in general. Like I've been in the coaching space for a while, and it's just the most classic business to do. And I'm down to do something else in the near future.
Right, you want to be different. You don't want to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
And have a content, then course, then it's a book, then it's something else.
You
right?
gotta start your podcast, Michael.
Yeah.
We started with the podcast, and then we'll do everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No, I did notice that about your Instagram. Obviously, I've noticed both. Like, I do see your face more on TikTok, but on your Instagram, obviously, you're doing the carousel stuff as well. Is there like a major difference in performance that you've noticed between the two platforms? Again, it could be platform specific, so maybe it's hard to determine. But like, does the talking head style just do a little bit better?
Yeah, the talking head style does a lot better on TikTok, but my TikTok and a lot of people in this space, I think just like coaching and maybe TikTok in general, I've talked about it with them too, but my TikTok performs nowhere nearly as well as it did like a year or two ago. Like that was where 90% of our students were coming from, was TikTok, which was insane because just like strictly organic just from TikTok. And that's how we like grew it to a high level, which was super cool. But over the past year, TikTok has slowed down so much for us to where it's maybe 10% of our business, where it used to be 90%. So yeah, nonetheless, talking head style still, I think, performs better on TikTok and raw, kind of organic looking content, whereas on Instagram, that's not so much the case. I find the more edited, style videos for reels and stuff performs a little bit better than raw stuff. Although it's tough to say. Like I've had raw style videos go viral on Instagram as well. At the end of the day, it's really just the content and the video itself. But very different styles for Instagram. Like you mentioned, the carousel style posts, those are something we do a ton on Instagram now. And then if we're doing reels, more general lifestyle, and then sometimes we'll do specific Amazon. So the structure for Instagram is really just like top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel in terms of content. So top of funnel, broad. You guys might see like we post like things that aren't even me, just like different memes or accounts. Like we had some reel we posted of some girl using coupons at a grocery store, which is just like extremely broad content, it has nothing to do with Amazon FBA. And that video on my profile is like 5.5 million views now. But that's not gonna that's not gonna convert into like people doing Amazon FBA, but the idea is just like, you know, you do get a ton of followers from that, and from all those views and those followers that come onto your profile, then they see your more middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content, which is more specific to FBA. And then, so some of those people that came in from that broad style video might convert, you know, down the line. So that's kind of the structure for Instagram.
Okay.
Sure.
That's
I
interesting.
will say that content is super funny. I love it. It's so
Yeah.
entertaining. So
Are you only using TikTok and Instagram, or are you on YouTube Shorts as well? Because I was listening to a podcast, the Jack Neal podcast yesterday, and there's this young guy on there making like 8 figures a year doing brain rot content, but talking about how YouTube he thinks is secretly the best platform for short form. He thinks in a year it's going to be like by far the best. Are you on YouTube Shorts as well?
Interesting. Yeah, I'm on YouTube Shorts. We pretty much, I'm sure there's probably a better, you know, way and structure of going about this, but we pretty much repost all of like my TikToks and stuff onto YouTube Shorts. And yeah, I mean, they perform all right, but nothing that, you know, I've noticed has converted too well. And then I do agree that YouTube is definitely the best platform. Maybe not Shorts. Like I would say like long form YouTube is definitely the best platform. Not from my experience, because I did YouTube a year ago, stopped. I'm just getting back into it now. But just like, you know, makes sense. Long form content might take a little bit longer to grow up your following and stuff. But I mean, it's amazing once you grow that following and having people watch long form content of what it is you're talking about. So I think YouTube is probably the best platform long term. Whereas, yeah, I mean, TikTok and Instagram are great still because you can still go viral very quickly.
Yeah.
Get to a pretty crazy level just organically.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe they're a little bit better for just virality and getting the reach out, but I'm sure it'd be easier to monetize YouTube,
Yeah.
especially on the long form as well. Personally, like any creator I'm going to buy from, it's probably going to be someone that I watch on YouTube repeatedly. Whatever they're selling, that would be kind of like the majority of the way. Maybe the other short form as well for something like coaching as well, but I'm going to also watch their long form and see what sort of free value they're giving out for it as well. Is that kind of what
Yeah.
you're on there as well?
For YouTube?
Yeah, on the YouTube long form, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was doing YouTube more like a year ago, and yeah, just longer form content on there. We were talking like a bit more specific about Amazon, and then tried to do like some more lifestyle things, and you know, again, just like broad content versus like ultra niche specific. Oftentimes performs better, but maybe doesn't convert as well. And so now, yeah, starting that up again. So literally probably gonna like come back and post the first video by next week.
Cool.
But it'll be similar. I think the main focus now for YouTube though will be having again a bit of that balance, similar to what we have on Instagram. Not that broad, but you know, more broad business lifestyle, and then you know some videos which are more bottom of funnel, you know, specific to Amazon tips and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, thanks a lot, Michael. We're kind of hitting that time frame we'd like to aim for on the Real Leverage podcast. Felt like we learned a lot from you. I think our viewers would as well. We're trying to show our viewers different people and different businesses, and you know, see if they can kind of take something away from it. And I feel like you did a great job today, kind of explaining your experiences in business, and someone listening to this episode could take action and kind of go out and start an Amazon FBA, you know, if they wanted to or something. So appreciate you taking the time to get on today.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.